When we last left our hero, she was making her way through a dark forest, with 2 new companions in tow, with the goal of escorting one of them to a safer place. She left the village of Barovia in search of a town to the north called Vallaki. Along the way, she decided to take a scenic route off the beaten path and found an encampment of Vistani, going about their daily lives and festive activities. She stayed at the camp for a little bit, enough to get to know some of the more happy individuals there, as well as the apparent leader of the Vistani, a Madame Ava, who gave her tools, knowledge, goals that she didn't have before. She did a card reading, telling her where she could possibly find answers on how to get back home. After the card reading, she left, after giving a few Vistani some sass about being too nosy in her own personal business.
Mm-hmm.
But continued on her way, going across a long, gloomy stone bridge until the sun went down. They made camp on the road. During the night, they were attacked by a spectral figure who possessed Irina. Luckily, before things got too out of hand, they managed to knock Irina unconscious and deal with the spectral figure. After that, they regrouped and settled down on the relatively dry road. Sleep eventually came over you, though it was very difficult. You swear that you heard voices, you swear that there were things lurking in the darkness beyond what you could see from the dim firelight. But eventually, your exhaustion got the better of you. And you found a momentary peace. Now, you awake to the smell of mud and a very faint smell of charcoal, as Ismark and Irina are both already up, packed, and Irina goes over at your shoulder and just shakes it. Darling, we best be moving on.
What time is it?
Sun's been up for a little over 30 minutes.
Oh. Really? She just looks into the sky and like, well, there's light, but there's not really a sun.
Yeah. You look up and you see the outline of where the sun is. It's clearly originating heavily from one point, but it is heavily obscured by the cloudy sky and the fog above.
Okay. I don't like sleeping on the ground.
Was the bedroll not to your liking?
No, it was nice, thank you, but well, let's try not to camp out in the middle of the spooky woods next time.
Well, unfortunately, that's an inevitability when the distance is so great, but I myself would also like a roof above my head at all times.
All right, give me a moment. And she, gets herself ready and packed up and ready to go.
All right. It takes you the better part of around 10 minutes to get all of your stuff packed, rolled up, stuffed, and all the while Ismark comes over and gives you a few dried nuts and rations for breakfast. Doing some patrolling around and just kind of keeping a general eye out. Before you are packed and ready to go.
Right. Before she does anything, when she's like, eating like the nuts and the berries and stuff, she's like, "Oh, that reminds me." And she summons a bunch of good berries into her hand, and she gives one to each Ismark and Irina, and she says, "Here, try one of these."
Ismark takes one and kind of looks over it. So does Irina. They both kind of look at each other and then try it. And their eyes kind of glow a little bit and like, whoa.
They're really good, huh? But they're not as good as my grandma's. My grandma's are really good, but I think these are okay.
That's delicious. That is wonderful.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, I'm really glad you guys like it. Apparently, mine isn't as good as most of the other druids and my grandma's, but I'm glad you guys like it.
This is this feeling of energy after you eat one normal?
Oh, yeah.
This is spectacular. Where do these come from? How did you...
Oh, I made them. With magic.
Magic. Of course. It's always magic. You are blessed, darling. Some of us aren't so as... don't have the talent to do such things.
Oh.
Not to sound ungrateful. This is wonderful. Thank you. I'm just maybe a little jealous that you can make something so delicious instantaneously.
Oh, don't worry. There's a lot of people that can use magic that can't make anything like this at all. Their cooking is still terrible.
I'll take your word for it.
Great. Well, if you guys need any more or get hungry, which you shouldn't, these should, actually satisfy you for the rest of the day. But anyway, if you guys need some energy or something, let me know. I have more.
That's...
And she just throws them in her pocket.
All right.
Or a little pouch.
Yeah, you got your pocket berries.
Mm-hmm.
And you continue along down the road. Past the arching gates, leading again through a winding wood. As you approach the tree line, the road gets thinner, but it seems a little less muddy. Like the ground on your feet seems to be though still in a state of disrepair, not in a state of heavy use. So it's grown over, but not covered. You continue past the tree line. And it is chilly. It seems like it is always chilly here. And make a perception check for me.
Okay. 11.
As you walk through this narrow forest, you are in a constant state of paranoia. This place is spooky. And much like when you were trying to fall asleep, even the slightest noise catches you off guard, and you think it may be something, and you quickly look. Ismark and Irina seem much more calm. And after a while, you start to get used to it. And around that time, you see a lone figure standing in the center of the road. Bright red garb. What at this point you recognize as Vistani. A familiar figure. And as you approach, he kind of cracks his fingers a little bit and just kind of waves. Oh, well. Hello. Fancy meeting you here again, yes?
Is this one Eugene?
This one is Eugene.
Oh. What are you doing here? I thought you said you weren't going to see me or I wasn't going to see you again.
That was the plan. But then you insulted one of my compatriots and they insisted. That's...
Oh, no, I didn't insult your compatriots. I insulted all three of you.
Oh, even better. And at that point, two other Vistani that you did not see from behind you grab Irina and Ismark. And let's do some checks real quick. All right, 15, 17, not bad. Okay. Irina, after being grabbed, just headbutts the guy's nose, and the guy shrugs back. Oh, God! And Ismark is just struggling and is grappled and is currently being held as the other people draw their weapons. I will enjoy this. And roll initiative for me, would you?
Of course. 7.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Got 2 of those.
Oh.
Oh, indeed. Just so you know, the ones that you see are Ismark and Irina. Starting off is Ismark, and he's going to attempt to break this grapple as he kind of grits his teeth and lets out an annoyed groan. Get off me, you son of a... And that will be with advantage. 18. Contested. 19. He's holding strong, and Ismark can't quite shake him. And Irina is going to turn around, draw her blade, and is going to attack the one behind her. And 23 definitely hits. 6. And then it is Eugene's turn as he twirls his blade up and down, and the blade spins, and he is going to attempt to hit you.
Okay.
That is a 16 to hit.
That's a hit.
All right.
Oh, I can use cutting words.
Okay. What do you say?
I need to have a list of insults ready to go. You know?
Yeah, no problem. So as he holds up the dagger and throws it your way, you're like, this is dumb, and he roll the dice.
All right. So let's see. It's not 1d8 yet. It's 1d6,
yes,
right?
1d6.
Yeah, I have 1d6. Okay.
4. So that lowers it to a 12.
It's a miss.
Yeah. The dagger whooshes by your head. And it is the next turn, and this Vistani is going to take a blade from the side, and he is going to I suppose. Yeah, he's gonna attempt to stab Ismark. And that is a hit. Dealing 8 points of damage.
Woohoo.
As he is being held, takes the dagger and plunges it into Ismark's stomach. And he spits out a bit of blood. As the other Vistani sees that, oh, this one is being held, so I'm also going to attack him. Get this one done quick. Shink! Shink! Ismark is just being held in place and is being stabbed repeatedly. And
Okay, so now, okay.
being held in place and is just not looking too happy about this.
Now. I need to see the arrangement of all the people.
Yes.
This is important.
Yes, and
I have AoE spells.
and it is your turn.
Okay.
And I will I'll give you a whiteboard.
Okay.
I should put that special page on this one too.
Right. You know I'm gonna need it.
Yeah. So, you got 2 Vistani that are behind Ismark and Irina. You are in the front. And Eugene is ahead of all of you. So...
Okay, so Eugene is up here somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Irina is like here maybe.
Yep.
And then Ismark is somewhere there. And then we got 2 Vistani around here.
Yes, exactly. Just stabbing Ismark repeatedly.
Got it. I am going to use Dissonant Whispers
Perfect.
on the one holding Ismark.
Okay.
Because I assume that if he loses his wisdom, he has to spend his turn running instead of dragging him along. So hopefully he'll drop Ismark if he does that.
That is a 13, so no.
What does the Vistani pass or?
13. What's your spell save DC? I think it's more than 13.
It is 13.
Okay, then he saves.
No. Well, he'll still take the damage, so hang on.
Yeah, it takes the half damage.
What the heck? 5?
Oh, 1, 1, and a 3.
Oh my god.
And half that.
We're so dead.
We're
so dead.
Which is 3.
This is fantastic, you guys. We're doing great.
Okay. You just mutter arcane words and it carries on the wind, and this other guy is just struggling with Ismark, stabbing him over and over and over again, and doesn't seem to pay you much mind. However, he does kind of twitch a little bit, but it doesn't have the desired effect. You still have your bonus action, movement, and your other special tools.
How far away am I from Eugene?
Probably a good...
Like 5 feet?
Like,
or?
I'd say probably closer to 10, like 10, 15, something like that.
Okay. And how close am I to Irina and Ismark?
They're like, they're basically directly... I'll say Irina is 5 feet, Ismark is 10.
I can't use Thorn Whip. That's another action. Shoot!
I mean, you could.
Oh, the Strahd thing. Ugh! Is that the only cost? That's spooky. That's really scary, though.
It's almost as if you're playing a horror game, Nola.
I know! What? I'm not allowed... Am I allowed to use Healing Word as well? Because that's a bonus action, but that's 2 spells.
If you've already cast a spell, I would say not without invoking your hidden power.
shoot. I'm gonna. All right. I'm going to move next to Irina to get closer to Ismark and away from Eugene.
Okay, beautiful.
And that'll be it.
Beautiful. All right. Ismark is up next, and he is just continuing to try to break free from this grapple.
Break free.
And what do you got?
15.
15.
Okay.
Not bad. Not bad. Natural 20 on the Vistani. Just being held, and he's just swearing and cursing, trying to reach for his blade and break free.
How come you're doing all these good rolls? Huh?
Well,
We're the ones.
I'm rolling for Ismark and Irina too, you know. Irina is going to continue to attack the one that is Ismark, that is not holding Ismark, and shink, she is going to swung her sword with a what do you got? An 8. And the other person just jumps out of the way. And as he jumps out of the way, she grabs a fistful of dirt and just flings it in his face. Ah! And he just covers his eyes, and he seems a little dazed and open to an attack right now. As it is Eugene's turn. And he takes out a crossbow, and he is set on you. That is a natural 3. Goes off into the woods. And the one holding Ismark is going to continue stabbing him. And that hits. 8, 4. Another blade plunges into his side as the other one continues just stabbing him over and over and over again.
They're bullying him.
Yeah. And Ismark is starting to look a little faded, like he's lost a lot of blood, and his strength and resistance from the grapple is starting to seem to give a little way, like he's losing energy. And gets stabbed again, and it is your turn.
Shoot. I'm gonna use Dissonant Whispers again.
It's hard to be a bard. Targeting who?
The one holding Ismark.
Okay, that's another wisdom saving throw. That's another 13, I shit you not.
I can't believe you right now. You're such a troll.
Yes, I am trolling
9.
you. So that's still 4 points.
Damage.
Yeah, 4 points of damage. So 7. You are just muttering these words, and you're seeing the blood now dripping down from Ismark's torso, and his eyes starting to turn a little gray. A little bit of desperation is weaved into your arcane words, and you lose focus a little bit. And you know that you're not supposed to do that, and as you fear, the spell doesn't seem to have as heavy as effect as it normally would.
Yep. All right. I'm going to give a bardic inspiration to Irina.
Okay.
And that'll be it.
All right. Your body starts to emit a faint glow, and Irina looks over and notices that and gets a little grin across her face and looks like she's ready to fight. And with that, Ismark is going to attempt to break free again. It is looking pretty rough.
18.
18.
Come on, man.
And he tenses up. And as he tenses up, blood starts to pour from his wounds even more. But he shrugs, and the other Vistani is knocked back. And he draws his weapon quickly and starts panting heavily. And he is looking real angry at the people that had just been holding him down. And that is his turn. Irina is going to continue swiping away at the one in front of her.
Okay, she has her inspiration.
She does have her
But, okay.
inspiration.
Yeah.
That hits for another 5. Shink! And slashes this one across the face. And he grabs his cheek. And as she grabs his cheek, just kicks from underneath him, bringing him down to one leg. And this person is, again, seemingly vulnerable to another attack. And it is Eugene's turn. Fires another crossbolt at you. Okay. So, from here on forward, then this is a good a good moment to bring it up. I like flanking rules as a DM.
Oh.
So as your back is turned, and you mutter this attack at this thing, I'm gonna give him advantage on this one. Because I think it makes sense. And that is an 18.
Where are your ones? Where are they?
Hey, he escaped the grapple.
You're saving them, huh?
Yep, that is an 18 to hit.
Okay, fine.
And that does 8 points of piercing damage as you turn over, muttering your arcane incantation as an arrow pierces into your back, and a sharp pain spreads all throughout your body, and you begin to tense up as he just loads another crossbow bolt and pulls back the bolt.
How
And
much damage did I take the first time? 6 or 8?
you didn't take
Was
any
it-
because you cut the word. You did cutting words.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right, and the other
Okay.
two Vistani are going to continue to wail away on Ismark. Seeming as he is the one that has taken the most hits. Shink. Another 2 stabs into Ismark's side. And stumbles backwards, now having 6 dagger wounds all across his body. Looking a little bit like Julius Caesar right now.
I literally was about to say he's resembling Julius right now.
And they flick with a flick of the wrist, knock the blood off. And it is your turn again.
Okay. I am actually going to use Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
Okay.
For Ismark.
All right, you approach Ismark and put your hands on him and go ahead and roll the dice. 8 points of healing.
That is
Not too shabby. As you lay your hands on him, the arrow protruding from your back, gritting your teeth, healing energy flows from your body, and as this healing light leaves and enters Ismark, he takes a breath and looks
Oh,
reinvigorated.
it should be 14.
Should be 14.
I cast that at level 2.
Oh, you cast level 2. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so, booyah.
And then I give him my last inspiration.
All right. And he looks like he is so inspired to kill these people that have been stabbing him repeatedly. And it is his turn. And he's going to go to town on these guys. Does he?
Yeah, so both Irina and Ismark have inspirations right now.
And he's going to recklessly swing his weapon at this guy.
20.
Yeah. Cleaves into this person's side and rends it out of his body, but this Vistani is bleeding profusely. His eyes seem to be fading in and out of this grayness, like he's losing focus on his surroundings, but he is still up. And Irina, seeing this, is going to change targets. She is going to try to finish this one. And she is going to use your inspiration. Still doesn't hit. This person backs away, just barely standing, but manages to just miss Irina's attack. And again, yanking at the person's robe and knocking him off balance. This person seems very open for an attack. And Eugene is gonna fire again. There's your natural one, Nola.
There we go.
Yes.
Yay!
And hits a rock and spins out of control, and one of the pieces of shrapnel go into one of the Vistani's eyes, like, ah, son of a... And the one that has the shrapnel instead is just going to swing wildly in front of him and try to hit something. But barely up. But still manages to find his mark. Slashing him across the chest again. Grunts as the other Vistani, seeing that this ball of anger and rage and muscle being stabbed over and over and over again, and just is not going down, is going to reassess the situation. And seeing the arrow out of your back, is gonna dash through and swipe at you.
Rude.
That is a 12. I don't think that hits.
That is just below.
All right. And you see this one coming. Dodge out of the way. And it is your turn.
All right. I will attack back with my own rapier.
Draw the rapier. Shink.
14.
14. Does hit. Go ahead and roll the damage.
That's 7.
7 points of damage on... Okay. Both of these Vistani now are barely managing to stay on their feet. But they are in this too deep. And they look to Eugene for guidance. And he just nods no. And loads another crossbow bolt, seemingly ready to fire again. What else would you like to do?
I'm out of bonus actions, so I guess I'm probably just gonna have to end my turn. I don't really... And I'm not using whatever Strahd's chosen ability. Okay, I need to be real desperate to use that.
Alright. So, next it is Ismark's turn. Recklessly swinging away. Whoosh! Whoosh! And on the second swing, cleaves this Vistani in half. Not going all the way through. Panting heavily. Twists the blade and rends it out, and the Vistani falls over dead. And the other person behind him is like, damn it! Damn it! And Irina, with a flourish, cuts into this one's back as she was engaged with you. And that one falls to the ground, dead. And Eugene looks and sees that his two friends now fallen. Well, it appears as if the persons who you insulted are no longer with us, so I will take my leave. And he bolts into the dark wood.
Oh, no, he doesn't. No. Okay. Let me see. Do I have hold person?
All right. The woods are thick, and he dashes 60 feet into this dense thicket. Line of sight is gone. You could pursue if you want into the wood that is like the trees are really close together and it is thick with fog. You could pursue if you would like. As it is, your turn.
I think I'll pursue for one turn. I'm gonna run after him
All
because hold person is exactly 60 feet. So
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
I see everything. You think fog is gonna stop me from murdering this man? No. Man.
You go into
I am a woman on a mission.
Yeah, you go in and you go through the wood and you take a minute and you listen because this fog is really intrusive on your vision. Take a moment, you listen. You hear the sound of rustling and you bolt toward that direction, and just before he is about to dart around a tree, you have line of sight. Saving throw on hold person is wisdom.
It is.
Okay.
There it is.
That is a natural 6.
Yes.
And he goes, and just before he is about to bolt out of your line of sight, his body tenses up and goes face first into the mud. And I will say that combat is over.
You're not going anywhere.
And he is held there, and you are holding him, but you know that every 6 seconds he has a chance to get away. So I'll say you close the distance, and he is going to make another one of those saving throws. And you are holding him firm, and he's just squirming. He's like, no, please, don't. It was them, the person that you killed. They were the one that wanted to do this. I was just being a good friend, don't you know?
And there is just a very uncharacteristic anger in her eyes as she just stares this person down. And she takes out a rope and she binds his hands and basically almost drags him back to like the other, Irina and Ismark.
Yeah, you bind his hands together, and he does break out of the hold person as he starts to squirm with the bindings. And I was like, oh, did I ever mention how beautiful you are? You truly are a magnificent creature.
Enough!
It was all my friends. The one that you called out, he was like, oh, I can't let her get away with that. And I was like, oh, but you really should. She is clearly so strong and magnificent. And he just mumbles all the way as you drag him back to the road with Irina, looking over Ismark's body and just applying pressure to the blood that is gushing out on the road. Brother, are you okay? I've seen better days.
And as Serena just kind of, shoves Eugene on to in the middle of the three of us, she crosses her arms and she looks at him very seriously and says, I know that you're working for Strahd. What in the world is his purpose for all of this?
And Irina stands up, has a similar look to the one that you described, flicks her short sword at him, and the blood of his friends smears across his face. You are right. I do report to him. I tell him the goings on. But this was not him. He did not tell me to do this. I swear, it was actually my friends that are on the floor there. It is them. I had nothing to. It was them.
Let me guess. Your friends took one look at me and thought that it would be easy to just kill me off. They wouldn't take an insult like that, you know, while they were around, right?
Something like that, yes. Not me, though. I saw your strength from the moment I saw you. I told you so, remember? I was all... You seem very capable. What was your name again?
I'm reluctant to give you more information.
Oh, shit.
I'm stuck. I'm not sure what to do with you. Should I just let you join your friends, or should I let you go? But I can't let you go, because I know you're going to go straight to Strahd. But if I kill you, Strahd might come looking for you. So I'm torn. Irina, Ismark, what do you guys think?
Well, I've let my feelings for these people. I've let my feelings be known from the moment we met. As much as I disagree with you, brother, they did do quite a number on you. But at the same time, I'm not one for killing. And he looks at the bound figure of Eugene just squirming and looking terrified. The idea of killing this wounded animal doesn't sit right with me.
Even if this wounded animal tried to kill you first.
Not to say that we don't have every right. I just like to be careful. I have never... And she looks back. I have never killed anyone before. And her facial expression kind of softens a bit. This is all very new to me. The idea of spilling more blood does not appeal to me.
I'm not exactly a veteran at this either. It's never very easy, but... This is a situation I haven't really run into before. Is it more dangerous to keep him alive, or to get rid of him now?
I think it is less dangerous, that's for sure, but is it the right thing to do?
I have no idea. Who's to say that if we don't let him go, that he may cause the death of someone else? Would it be right then
All I know is that he does not seem to be of any threat right now.
And Serena just kind of looks at poor man over here, babbling like an idiot, trying to save his own life.
Yeah, and Ismark approaches, sword drawn, kind of dragging behind him. I can do it. I can end this piece of shit. And he starts making his way over. Let's talk this out. Listen to your other... Listen to, Irina. She is quite knowledgeable. She is, you should listen to her. And he just stands over him with this great sword dragging behind him. And he just looks at you for confirmation.
A part of me really would like to just get rid of you now so I won't have to worry about you later, but I agree, Irina. It's... Look how pitiful he is. And Serena walks up to him and just kind of like gets him by the scruff of, his shirt. And she says, "Listen, Eugene.
Yes?
Before you said that we would never see each other again, right?"
I am sorry for deceiving you. I am so, so very sorry.
Make sure that we never meet ever again. Got it?
Yes, of course, yeah. Make an intimidation check with advantage.
Okay. 13.
Yes, of course.
The next time we meet, we will not be merciful. Understand?
Yes, of course, yeah. Not merciful. I understand. Thank you so much. And snot and tears are now running down his face.
And she goes to cut his binds. And she stands back.
You cut the binds and he bolts. And Ismark almost raises up his sword hand, and Irina just gently places her hand on top of his. He takes a deep breath and then looks back at her. And she just gives him a very slight smile. And the rage kind of subsides. It still lingers, but he takes a deep breath, getting a second wind. And sheathes his sword. Fuck. You did the right thing, and Irina looks back at you.
I hope so. I really do. We were lucky this time.
Ismark silently goes over to the bodies and starts patting them down. At least I could pay for the bandages that this girl is gonna need.
Oh, let me help you. And she... Actually, they might want to go for a rest or something.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Irina sees that guy. Yes. I can bandage you up. We should take a moment. He looks a little worse for wear.
Right. And she's going to use Song of Rest.
Alright, and people are gonna go ahead and roll their hit dice.
Yeah. 1d6. How come my hit dice says D4? No, it's not a D4.
No,
it's
you
D8.
can change it. It's because Roll20 was updated and it
Oh.
didn't automatically update character sheets that were already made.
2d8. And then plus Song of Rest is D6s.
Yeah. Yeah. And you take the time. Irina
There we go.
Irina bandages up Ismark. Starts even taking a little bit to sew some of the torn threads. Washing him off. Stitching him up. And by the end of the hour, he seems like he can travel again, but definitely took his toll on him. You can still see the remnants and the blood covering his clothes.
All right. Well, she'll use prestidigitation to remove, the blood.
Yeah, and with with your magics, you help clean him up. And Irina goes behind you, is like, "All right, this is going to hurt," and takes out the arrow from your back.
Ow! 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 Ow!
And begins treating your wounds. And
ow!
And you are, yep, and you are also ready for travel by the end of the hour. And the short rest goes by.
Yep.
Well, that took a little bit of time. Oh boy. Let's continue on. I don't want to spend any more time on this road than we have to.
Right. And they travel along.
Mm-hmm.
Off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
You continue through the wood and find your way to a clearing. And the scenery immediately shifts as you start to make your way up a hillside. And as you gain elevation, your injuries sting and they hurt. And you want to cast a spell just to make the pain go away, but it could be useful. And you hold off. You're sore, but you can do it. And as you make your way all the way up this mountainside, you look around and you can see almost the entirety of the valley. To the north, you see a lake stretching across miles of land surrounded by wood. And you see dim light near the southern end of the lake. It's odd, but it shines through the fog. You can't see the buildings, but you can see light, just little twinkles. And Ismark looks over and says, "Well, that must be Vallaki. Can't be more than... Texas, quarter mile. Can't be more than 3 miles away if we cut through the forest. If we follow the trail, it would probably take around double that, but we'd have a road."
What time is it?
By this point, it's probably around mid-afternoon. You've traveled for around 4 miles today.
Okay.
With the hour-long rest.
Right.
So yeah, it's around mid.
You know what? Going through the road at this point isn't too bad of an option. If it was nighttime, it might be worth it to be yeah, let's just get out of here. But
well, you would know this from your trek. The sun, if you decide to hoof it, you can make it there in this stint. but the sun will go down on your journey.
If we take the path.
Yes.
Okay.
If you intend to make it to that town today, night will come on the journey.
Okay. You know what? Never mind. Let's book it then.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
not spending another night in this forest, okay?
yeah. You are outside of the forest now. You are on a plateau of hillside. And you're looking down on the valley all around you. And you continue along the road. You see a sight. Starts off as a speck, but it stands on a hillside near the northern end of this hill before you start descending back down into forest. The old Svalich Road transitions here from being a winding path through the Balanoic Mountains to a lazy trail that hugs the mountainsides as it descends into a fog-filled valley. In the heart of the valley, you see a walled town near the shores of a great mountain lake, its waters dark and still. But a branch in the road leads west to a promontory, atop which is perched a dilapidated stone windmill, its warped wooden vanes stripped bare. Ismark and Irina both look toward the windmill. Well, I know you said that we should carry on and continue, but we wouldn't need to camp on the road if we took shelter there. At this point, it's starting to get towards the early evening. The sun is starting to not quite set, but it's getting there.
It's on its way there. Yeah. Okay. How long would it take to get to the windmill?
It is less than a quarter mile away. You have done...
Okay, so like 20 minutes or something, 30 minutes. Oh, wait, less than a quarter mile. Oh, that's like under 10 minutes.
Yeah, so you see the image?
Yeah. Okay. It's not too far. We could, take a look. If, we feel that we want to stay there, then okay, I guess. But, if we don't like it, then we can just continue on.
You're the expert. I don't like it.
I'm the expert? I'm not an expert at all. I don't know anything about windmills.
Much like Jon Snow. The opposite of Jon Snow. Where's Jon Snow when you need him? That's a windmill. Well, okay, let's check it out then. The onion-domed edifice leans forward and to one side, and as though it is trying to turn away from the stormy gray sky. You see gray, black brick walls and dirt-covered windows on the upper floors. A decrepit wooden platform encircles the windmill above a flimsy doorway leading into the building's interior. Perched on the wooden beam above the door is a raven. It hops about and squawks at you, seemingly agitated, as you're approaching.
Is that bird angry at us?
I have no idea. Make an animal handling check.
Okay. Not great. What did I roll? Oh, that's okay.
You look at the raven, and it is dancing and bouncing back and forth and occasionally just rapidly turning its head. And it's almost as if it's warning you to turn back as it flies off into the distance.
That's ominous.
Stupid bird. If it weren't bad luck, I'd deal with their pests.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have kind of a weird feeling now. If we are going to look inside, we really should be careful. I don't have a good feeling about this now.
Should we not go?
I kind of want to... Is there, like, windows?
There are windows. There is a doorway that leads to the interior, and a flimsy wooden archway that is above the doorway, probably around 10 feet. And on and above that, there are windows, yes.
Okay. She's like, I kind of want to look in through the windows just to see what might be in there.
Yeah, I can lift you up. Maybe you can... Those flimsy beams don't seem the most steady, but you don't look all that heavy.
Well, I wouldn't want it to break. Let's see. What do I have any? Really don't want to like break my leg, like falling. That would be pretty bad. Okay, you know what? She's gonna use just guidance.
Okay.
Just on herself. Just. Okay.
All right.
You can do this. Okay, boost me up.
Yep. You recite a prayer that you learned in your academic textbooks to a god that you don't necessarily believe in, but
Right.
The result is the same. And as Mark boosts you up, go ahead and make a acrobatics check with advantage.
Okay. Acrobatics with advantage. 23.
23 with a d4.
And then disadvantage was a 20.
Yep.
And that's without guidance.
Yep. So roll that d4.
Okay, that's 24, but you know, still pretty good.
Okay. So, with the grace of a cat, he boosts you up, and he's like, okay, I don't think that maybe climbing would be such a good idea. Just jump. And he boosts you up, and it's kind of unexpected, but you are lifted up in the air, and you find a steady beam to stand on, and land with as little force as possible, not making a sound. And the boards creak underneath your feet. They seem deteriorated and ready to break at any moment. And there's some give to when you step, but you manage to make it up there.
Okay, so she's just gonna look around and, you know, see what's going on.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh, I guess it's 8 across the board, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off advantage.
So, you look around and you see that on the other side of the windmill, just beyond it, are a ring of 4 megaliths at the forest edge, near, like, as you're still going down. And you can see that ravens are circling these 4 megaliths just repeatedly over and over and over again.
Megaliths? What's up?
It's like a totem thing, like Stonehenge.
Okay.
So like just like rocks that are seemingly like carved, but that like shoot outward from the ground, kind of a thing.
Okay.
And you look inside the window, and the window is boarded and dirtied. And yeah, with an 8 perception, you try to find some way to look through. I guess even with an 8, you would hear muffled sound coming from the other side. But you can't quite make out what it is.
And she's going to use a message, you know. She's going to talk to Irina really quick, like, hello, can you hear me?
Yes? What is this?
Oh, it's me. It's another, one of my spells. I can talk to, you know, someone from a distance without having to actually use my voice.
Magic, of course, of course.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm looking through, but it's really hard to see anything. I can hear something, but I can't really make out what it is.
Like rats, or just the sound of creaking wood? It could anything.
No, it sounds like there is something in there. It's muffled, but I don't know. What did it sound like?
It's
like, is it?
I'll say
it's like footsteps.
Yeah,
or is it
I'll say
movement, or is it talking?
I'll
or is
say
it like
that the tone that you were hearing was muffled. You could not tell what it was, but it was not a constant tone. It was, but it was also not like on like a regular pulse. So it just was an every once in a while kind of a lower tone because you were listening to it through boards.
It doesn't seem like it's something like nature caused this. Or like the building itself caused this. Or like it's not like a
make a nature check.
Make a nature check. Okay, great. That's a 12.
You don't really know.
Great. I really can't tell. All I can tell is it's not rhythmic. It's not constant. So whatever's happening, I don't know if it's from something alive. I don't know if it's from a rat. I don't know.
Well, sounds like we don't know anything then.
Yeah.
Well, come on down, I suppose.
All right. And she, like, you know, carefully moves back and...
Yep. Make another acrobatics check.
Oh, good. 19. Hey, I climbed trees as a kid, okay?
Yep. You jump down and land. Little less graceful this time, but the beams, like as you take your step off, the beam that was underneath your foot cracks inward and you fall, but you manage to catch yourself and land. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. But wow. Yeah, that wasn't going to hold me for much longer, I suppose.
All right, so what's the plan?
the thing is, I would really hate to knock on the door and see who it is, and then find out it's like a ogre or something.
This place looks abandoned. If someone was living here, you'd think that they'd take more care of it. This place looks like it hasn't been touched in years.
But I don't know. The way that bird was acting. If this place was abandoned completely, why would that bird care?
He looks.
What, is this bird's nest?
He looks over at you and kind of raises an eyebrow. You're basing all of this on a bird that was just jumping about?
I don't know. It was a very frantic bird.
That does sound a little strange, you must admit.
I don't know.
Well, it's your call.
I have a bad feeling. I think we should go to the town and maybe ask some of the people about this place first.
All right. So, we travel through the night then.
Right.
All right. So, you back away. As you descend from the mountainside, going into the forests, you slowly lose vision of the lake. And the familiar sound of trees blowing in the wind and ravens cawing fills your ears. As you walk by these megaliths. And they do stand out, and ravens are just constantly circling them. But Irina and Ismark don't seem to pay them much mind. And they kind of curve off into the wood, and you are right next to them at this point. And he looks over to you. Do you have any experience in wilderness travel? Because this would be faster, but this wood is thick. And he looks into the thick, foggy forest.
Well, I mean, every single time I traveled, I usually didn't travel completely alone. I usually had one that was more experienced at that than me. So unfortunately, I don't know what much I could do.
Well,
I mean, I can see in the dark, but other than that...
I don't know how to track or travel through this, do you? No. But it would be faster.
I think we were going in the right direction, right?
Well, the trail leads all the way around, but it would double our time. That's needed to reach the town.
Wait a minute, is it already nighttime?
At this point...
Did it take that long Did it take that long at the windmill?
No. The sun is starting to set around now.
Oh, okay. How's about? I'm like, we didn't spend 6 hours at the windmill, did we?
No. The sun is starting to set around now.
Okay.
If we follow the trail, it'll double our time, but I have no idea how to navigate through this. Do you have any forest experience at all?
I mean, I have my druid spells, but unfortunately, none of them really deal with actual navigation.
Of course, you have your magics. That can guide us through, right?
None of them deal with navigation.
I see. And they both just look into the dark and eerie wood obscured by fog and look up at the setting sun. Between a rock and a hard place, I suppose. And they look back at the windmill. And Irina looks back at you. It's... no matter what, this is why we brought you along. We haven't traveled like this. This is the kind of thing that we leave to you.
Okay. I have a really bad feeling at Windmill. Maybe if we... I don't know. I guess we could set up camp. I don't know, a distance away from it. It's just...
If we're gonna take another day anyway... For what it's worth, I think that if we're not gonna stay there, we might as well get to our destination tonight.
Yeah. I think it would be safer that way, personally. Even if we might have to lose a little sleep.
Okay. So we're taking the trail then?
I'm afraid so.
Okay. You make your way, turning away from the wood. And you travel along.
Better late than dead.
Taking the safe route rather than the quick route. As the day goes on, the temperature begins to drop. The suns never shine gold here. No pink, no yellow sunsets. Just a muffled light that turns into darkness. And you make your way on the outskirts of this town, of this forest. As you continue along, the sun does go down. And Irina lights a torch, and you continue past. And you're hoofing it. And as you make around the bend after the first couple miles, your breath starts to feel chilled. It's freezing. Irina. And Ismark takes out a jacket and puts it over Irina. And Irina pulls out one of her blankets and drapes it over you.
Thanks.
You can see in this?
I can. But... right, you guys can't. Oh, I guess I'll just have to take the lead.
All right. And you are in the front, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, actually, you guys can hold the torch. It's a bit warmer. I don't need it. And she uses her, let's see. Well, could she use... No, she can't use Firebolt to just summon fire. Can we just do that like prestidigitation? Can I do that?
Do you have light? Because prestidigitation is more like a spark.
Oh, you light like a candle or a torch or a campfire or
Yeah.
something. Got it. No. Oh, I didn't pick up produce flame. That's the thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, she has firebolt, but that's not that's an attack. That's not something you just carry around light. Yeah, she doesn't need light. You know, that's a loser move for a half elf. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you can see in the dark, why do you need it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so she'll continue on and let them hold the torch.
Okay.
And she's just kind of like with her little blankie. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah, naturally. Sorry, I'm trying to find something. I have it. I don't know why it's not showing up. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, as you continue along past this wood, the fog getting thicker and it gets cold, you hear a muffled howl coming from within the thicket. And Ismark turns, draws his sword, looking into the wind, into the fog of the wood. And they sound close. Irina, stand back. And Irina gets behind Ismark. Ismark looks to you. They didn't sound that far away.
Let's hurry along then.
You continue along. And it isn't long before you start to hear running alongside you in the thicket. You can't see it, but you're beginning to hear the pitter-patter of feet as the howling gets louder. Shit. And a wolf jumps out in the center of the track. And he waves the torch at you, and you're surrounded by a pack. And they all just growl at you, their eyes glistening in the torchlight. Back! And he's just waving the torch at these wolves. And they just dart back and just seemingly circle around you. Seven wolves surround you, biting at the air around you. I don't suppose your magics can talk to beasts?
Some magic can, just not mine.
Not yours. Perfect. So what do we do?
Well, try not to die?
Oh, brilliant idea. As one of the wolves darts back and goes for a bite, and go and roll initiative.
All right. That's an 11.
11. Okay, top of the round. The wolves, seemingly arranged in their pack, attack from all sides. And all 7 of them are going to attack, going at different targets.
I thought you were going to say all 7 of them attack Ismark.
Yeah, no.
Like he's just being...
No, 2, 4, 6.
Bully today.
So, 3 of them are going to be on Irina, and you, and 2 are going to be on you, 2 are going to be on Ismark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they have a +4. So, the 2 on you, 11 and a 20.
A 20 will hit, 11 won't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right. These people have pack tactics. So they actually get advantage on all those too.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah, that is rude. 16. And, yeah, so both of them are going to hit. Ooh, that's rough. And let's look at this.
If I die to a pack of wolves, that's just going to be the lamest death ever.
So 4, 1, 2, 8, 9. 13 points of piercing damage as they bite into you. And one of them grabs your leg, the other grabs your arm. It's taking advantage of your brief startling at this thing jabbing towards you. And the other one is going to go for Irina. The other two. 1, 2, 1, 2. And only one of those hits, surprisingly, even with advantage. So that is going to be 2d4. Plus 2, 4. Okay. And Irina bats one of them and yelps, and the other one bites the arm that she batted that wolf with, and she lets out. And the 3 on Ismark. 1, 2.
I thought you said there were 2 on Ismark.
No, so there are two on Irina, 2 on you, 3 on no, yeah.
Yeah, you said 3 on Irina.
Yeah, 3 on Irina. So the other one, and the other one hits as well. 2d4. That one is better damage, dealing 9. As Irina gets bitten on the arm, and the one goes straight for the throat, and her airways close up, and she looks rough. And then 2 on Ismark. 2, 1, 2. Oh no, those are D4s. I was like, why are they getting 4? So, because I was rolling D4s. So, and that hits. And that's plus 1, 4, and then yeah, they both hit. 2d4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 13. As all of them, one of them bites at Ismark's side. He grits as they twist and pull his stitches loose, and his wounds open up again. And the other one bites the arm that was going for his sword. And with that, Ismark is up, and he grabs his blade and goes into his furious rage, and he is going to action surge and try to get rid of these things as fast as possible. 22 and a 15 both hit. 22 at the one that bit his arm. 11 swings at the one that bit his arm, cleaves it in 2, and the other one that was on the ground biting his leg swings down, getting a good hit, and the beast whimpers, but it isn't done. Okay, 33. That's 11. That's 1, 2, 6, 26. And then it is your turn.
Okay. Whoo. Okay. Let's. Man, why do they have to surround us? You know, I wanted to use Shatter. I want to use the spell.
Well, they are all around you. You would hit all of them with Shatter.
But I would also hit all of us.
Yeah. There are 6 of you. There are 6 of them and 3 of you.
Okay. That might be worth it, though. Because it's a range of 60 feet.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm going to scream to Ismark and oh, you know what? I'm kind of scared. See, 3d6, that's 18 damage. I don't know how much health.
If you get all 6s, that's 18 damage with a failed save.
Right. But I'm just like, well, I'm talking like if I hit Ismark and Irina, I don't know how much health they have.
Irina is looking fairly rough. Ismark's looking like he's taken a couple bites, and that most of the blood that's coming out was from his past injuries, but he's looking okay.
No, I just like, I don't want to like kill off Irina with Shatter.
What are you doing?
I don't even know how much health they have. Do they have like 20 health?
Yeah.
10 health?
What are you doing,
5?
Nola?
30?
What are you doing, Nola?
Okay, shoot. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm gonna use Shatter. Then if I survive, I'm just gonna Goodberry everyone. Okay, Serena, she is going to, you know, she's gonna prepare like the most ear-splitting note of her magical violin, and before she does, she says, "I'm so sorry, you guys, but better cover your ears." And then she just rips the most ear-splitting sound that has ever been heard in Barovia.
A sound explodes out from your violin, resonating and echoing in the valley all around you. That's a wisdom saving throw, yes?
It should be. Ooh, that's 15 damage. Dang.
Oh, it's a constitution saving throw. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With a con of +1. Success. They all succeed.
What the heck? Why? Okay, and then also Irina
And Ismark have to make them. Yep.
and I have to roll technically.
No, you don't.
Oh,
You don't need to roll from your own Okay, and that's a failure for Irina.
Did I kill her?
And that's a nat 20 from Ismark, dealing 15 points of thunder damage.
Yep.
You scrape your violin, and Irina gets shaken, and then she drops the torch on the ground, and her eyes go dull, and she passes out.
Dang it! I knew it.
But
She's weak.
She's weak.
Dang it.
15 thunder damage, so that's halved. Is
Would be 7 round down.
So that's still 7 across 7 times 5. That's still 35 points of damage that you did in total. So all these guys.
Not the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah.
But if Ismark goes down, I'm so dead. This is going to be a TBK. Wow. I'm not looking forward to that.
All of these wolves seem really, really, really hurt. And, it is their turn. And, let's see, for my family. Okay. Yeah, and then the wolves are going to see that Irina's no longer a threat, and seeing that Ismark just cleaved one of their pack mates in half, they're gonna dart toward him, and that's gonna be a lot of damage. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's there's 6 left. Oh, actually, as you scream, the one that Ismark cleaved goes down, bleeding. So that's gonna be 5 attacks instead of 6.
Yay.
1, 2. That's a miss on the first. A hit on the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A miss on the third. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. A hit on the fourth, and a hit on the fifth. So that was 3 hits. 2, 3, 4, 6, 4, 8, 9, 12, 16, 18, 6, 24 halved. So that's 12. All of them jump on Ismark, and like Beast in that scene in the forest where he is just getting clobbered, but batting them around, Ismark is just holding his ground, getting bit from all over and shifting them away. Irina! And is getting held down by these wolves as they are just biting and clawing at him. It is Ismark's turn, and he's going to attempt to cleave one of these down. And that's a hit. As another one is cleaved. Irina! And he tries to make his way toward Irina, but their teeth are all embedded in him. And he is barely standing. What are you doing? All of these wolves seem like they were hit hard by your screech. Their ears are gushing blood. All of them seem dazed, confused, like they almost went down from your screech, but they are still standing. Ismark is looking horrible, and Irina is unconscious. What are
How
you doing?
many of them are left?
4. 4 are left.
4 are left. I think it might be worth it for me to use a Cure Wounds. Yeah, I'm gonna use a Cure Wounds on Ismark. Because clearly he can take a hit, unlike Irene. She's a twig, apparently.
Yeah. Ismark looks like he is on his last rage, and that his fury at seeing Irina go down is really the only thing that was keeping him up. But you go down and you heal Irina. Divine light pulses forward from your hands. You start humming the lullaby that your mother used to sing to you when you were a kid. It's a cold comfort as Irina's eyes open. That's beautiful.
Oh, I said Ismark.
Oh, Ismark. I thought you said Irina. Okay, no, never mind. Okay.
No, keep going.
Okay.
Keep going, I guess.
No, so yeah,
She's
but...
up.
No, so you mutter into Ismark's side, reaching over and grabbing him as he is being mauled by several of these wolves. And the wounds kind of start to close around the fangs, and he just grunts in pain, not seemingly noticing too much of that healing. But he is healed. You still have your bonus action and your movement. But at this point, you are within striking distance of all of these wolves.
Yeah, that's... At this point, that might be better. I don't have anything for my bonus action, so...
Alright.
I skip, yeah.
Now, that's a death save for Irina. That's a fail. Irina goes under. And her breath starts to stutter as these wolves continue to tear away at Ismark. Seeming the person that is just cleaving away at all of their friends, and there's 4 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Miss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Miss. Hit. Okay. He's batting all of them away, trying to get toward Irina. Save her! Save her! As one of them bites at his neck. Ah!
Oh, gosh.
His airway is closed up, but he is trying to make his way toward Irina and swings at the one that just grabbed at his neck. And cleaves it off of his body. The head still lingers on his neck for a little bit, and it is horrifying. You watch the body of this wolf fall to the ground as its head is still tossing and turning, attaching to his neck. And they'll eventually prise it off, and it seemingly almost continues to bite before it eventually loses energy, and he tosses it aside. And it is your turn again.
Well, that's not the most horrifying scene that I've ever seen in my entire life. So there's 2 left?
There's 3 left.
There's 3 left. Okay, at this point, we need to save Irina. We can't risk her rolling a 1. That would be horrible. Especially since I would have killed her. I don't think Ismark would like that. So, man. Shoot, I have one spell slot left. Oh, I do have some good berries.
Yes, you do. You have you have 7 of them.
I have 8 of them.
Oh, you didn't eat one.
I didn't eat one.
Okay,
no.
yeah, you have 8. And as an action, you can feed 1 at a time.
Right, because I was just like,
Yeah.
well, I could just shove
Yeah,
all
yeah.
8.
But it would get her up.
I think she's just gonna use a cure wounds.
Okay, roll that healing.
All right, 10.
10 points of healing.
All right, Irina, get up.
As Irina stands back up, her eyes go wide as she looks at you, and you're just holding and muttering, humming that tune. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Don't thank me yet.
And she gets up, draws her blade and picks up the torch and swings at one that's biting at Ismark's legs. What do we got? 22. Cuts one of them to the side. Then Ismark takes out his great sword. Oh, just recklessly swing. Thank God you're up! And cleaves at another one. There's one left. As one of them just... And all of them just surround this one wolf.
Right, is it my turn?
How do you want to do this?
I am going to use a firebolt and just completely, dart, make it like a fire dart that just goes straight through the wolf's heart and just almost catches it on fire.
With a flick of the wrist, you look to make sure that both of Irene and Ismark are okay. Okay. My turn, and just whoom, a flame spike just appears and darts through this wolf's chest. And it falls over. Dead.
And Serena, she's just trying to catch her breath. Because... Whoa. If earlier battle was bad, this is looking really bad.
Both Ismark and Irina go down on the ground. On a knee. Damn.
Here. Try some of these. And she holds a few berries.
Much like in Dragon Ball Z with the sensu beans.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you're holding at the good berries. And they each... Do you give out all of them? Or just...
I'm gonna give... Let's see, I have 8. I will give each of them 3.
Okay. They both down the
So
3.
I'll have 2 left.
They eat the 3 heartily. These are so incredible. And she looks wide-eyed as her wounds begin to close. What in the Morning Lord's name? And she looks at you kind of just astounded. How?
Irina, I'm so sorry. I panicked. I knew the spell would hurt you too, but I didn't think it...
She looks around. Darling, I'm okay. And from where I'm standing, it did more damage to them than it did to us. And Ismark scoffs. That almost got you killed, brother. And she looks over and she grabs his arm and very lightly, and she shoots him daggers. She did the right thing. I am in no mood for your idiocy right now. This is fine. I'm sure she did the right thing. Before I passed out, I saw them all shudder. There was more of them than there were of us. So if you hadn't have done it, I fear that things would have ended up much worse. So I forgive you. Don't worry.
Thank you. It still scared me, though. I wouldn't have been able to forgive myself if I wasn't able to bring you back.
It's all right. It's all right.
We really need to get to civilization.
Yes, we do. Son of a bitch. No. And she grabs her torches and steps back from the wood away from the trail. And Ismark gets up, sword at the ready. A minute goes by. Two minutes. We should move.
Right.
And grabbing their side, leaning on each other, both Irina and Ismark are injured and they are limping. They are trying to move forward, but they're moving at close to half movement, even though they're hoofing it. Continuing along the trail. What?
I would suggest a short rest, but at these circumstances, I'm not sure that's even worth it.
And the howls, you can't even tell if they're getting closer or further away at this point. I don't want... We need to move! And you're just hobbling forward. And a trail of blood is being left behind you, and they are not looking good at all. And after around a mile of hobbling like this, eventually the wolf howls, you can tell, are far in the distance. It's freezing. It's freezing.
They don't have the torch still, do they? Do they drop it?
Irina is holding the torch, but she drops it. I'm so light-headed. I'm so light.
I think we have to take a short break.
I don't think I can go on much. And then Irina collapses and takes Ismark down with her, flat on their back. And they are not moving.
Oh no. And she's like looking around, making sure that nothing's gonna pop out of the bushes, like.
Make a perception check.
7. She's too frazzled, like.
You quickly look around, but your two companions just collapsed on the road.
Oh no. Oh, I don't have enough energy to help them. No. And she pulls out her violin and she's going to play Song of Rest once more. And it's the only thing that she can do to like calm herself down is, to play.
You frazzled, you take your bow and you put it on your violin and your hands are shaking from the cold, and as you place your fingers on the strings, it's stings. Your hands are freezing, and you are doing so much vibrato just because of the shivering. And then, as you play the music, the cold starts to become a little less noticeable as you give way to the tune. And you hear Irina mumble under her breath, "It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful." As you play your Song of Rest, and they lay there for an hour.
And then 4, 1, 6. Okay.
Okay. Around 40 minutes in, you put your violin down, and Irina gets up. And she just closes her eyes and smiles. And she's smiling in the midst of all this. Ismark gets up. And they look at their wounds. And they aren't completely gone. Irina looks right as rain. The bleeding has stopped, but the wounds are still there. Ismark still looks battered and bruised. He walks over to you, leaning on a sword. "What are you? How?"
What do you mean?
"You manifest fruit that gives energy and closes wounds. And when you play music, my injuries feel like they're non-existent. What is this?"
I wish I had a better way of describing it. But all I know is that this is what my grandmother taught me. And it works. That's all I know.
And Irina looks like she's almost in a trance, still kind of dazed. "Tell me about your grandmother, darling."
Well, my grandmother, she's a famous bard from the land that I'm from. She's written many famous songs, and almost every child knows some of the nursery rhymes that she's written, and other bards tell of her stories when she was a adventurer herself. She is well loved where I'm from, well known. And I just hope I can live up to everyone's expectations of me one day. I hope I can live up to that renown and write songs as famous as hers.
Ismark nods. "Living up to expectations." And he looks at you with a softer expression that you remember seeing when he first met you at the tavern. But he does seem focused. I know what that's like. "Where is she now?"
She lives alone in a small town called Amberwood. She doesn't really allow people to see her very often. She likes to keep to herself now. I don't really know why, but after so many years in the spotlight, I suppose she just wanted to spend her remaining one. The ones that are close to her.
I get it. Irina gets up and sits next to you and just kind of leans up against Ismark. That was a lovely story. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. I just wish I could do better.
Ismark puts his hand on your shoulder gently. Without you, we would be dead twice now. Thank you.
Without me, you would be dead once now.
Fair enough. And he leans on a sword and stands up, helping Irina up to her feet.
Yeah, because the first time that might have been that was.
Yeah, fair enough. And then you turn and you notice far in the distance, through the fog and the darkness, you see a twinkling light near the end of the road. Is that it? Is that where I'll be safe?
I sure hope so.
And you continue along past the road with new found vigor, heading toward this twinkling light that gets brighter and brighter as you approach, piercing through the fog. And then eventually you see walls. Walls of a settlement. And you swear you see Irina and Ismark both kind of shed a single tear as they smile and kind of pick up pace even faster. Just hobbling forward, making the way to safety. Hey! 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 And an armored figure comes out from the fog. Right, who goes there? Hey! Help! We're hurt pretty bad here. And the guard lets out a light whistle, and two other figures come out from the side. All right. Halt. How many? Three? And you eventually make your way towards this town gate, and the old Slavich road meanders into a valley with the brooding mountains to the south. And as the woods recede, revealing the town, the thick fog presses up against the wall, and as you're looking for the way inside, you see the gate arching over the dirt road as it ends, planted in the ground of a large iron gate. Flanking the road outside of the gates are a half-dozen pikes with wolves' heads impaled on them, all looking in various states of decay and manglement, and you are shocked initially to see these wolves. And it's... what the... that's eerie. Alright, you do look fairly... Whoa. And they look back. Do you... Okay, step inside. And they both kind of look behind you. And you make your way into the town of Vallaki. What happened? And the guard approaches you.
We were traveling and we were attacked by the wolves.
Wolves? Huh. And she looks behind her. Fitting. Very fitting. Well, you won't find any wolf infestation inside these walls.
Good to hear.
We can't spare the men to guide you, but if you're looking for a place to stay, you might find lodgings in the Blue Water Inn.
The blue what?
The Blue Water Inn.
Ah, the Blue Water Inn. Okay.
It's near the center of town, to the north. When the... You can't miss it. Just continue along this main road and look to your right. It should be... There should be a sign.
Okay.
Welcome to Vallaki. And...
Thank you.
As the iron gates raise and close behind you. You look around and you see a similarly but different kind of somber sight. Several people wander these streets, much more than the village of Barovia. Some of them have that blank stare that you have known some Barovians to have since arriving. Others are smiling. But it's a plastic smile. It's a smile that is anything but authentic. And other people sometimes return the smile. Other people kind of spit at their feet. Some people just seem exhausted. Some people seem like they're just going about their normal business. But the illusion of this being a beacon of light and a safe haven starts to waver as you see remnants of festivities all around. Like some kind of celebration recently happened. You continue to see wolves' heads on pikes in several places. And Ariana and Ismark both look back at you. So this is Vallaki.
I don't know anything about this place. Is this place supposed to be like this?
I don't know. And Ismark looks back at the walls. But it is protected. And right now, I like the sound of laying down in a bed and not having to worry about anything.
Right. I think we all could use that very much.
And you continue your way through the city streets, not knowing what awaits you in the town of Vallaki. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Dun, 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 dun.